And just confirming we're not in a practice session anymore.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thanks for starting it, Andrew. I'll call the Neary Building Committee meeting to order. It is May 20th, 2024. It is 8:03 p.m. and we have 5 voting members present, as well as a few of our ex officio. First item on the agenda, we're going to take the meeting minutes last, just so everyone's aware, because we need to vote the current meeting minutes at the end of this meeting to certify any votes that we take. So first item we're going to talk about is the PDP. So we reviewed a draft last Thursday. I'm not sure if anyone else had any questions on the final version that was circulated in advance of the meeting.
The only question I had, and I called Jim earlier, and it was not really so much a question, but it was the first time we had seen the site plan. And there was just like kind of a comment in there on the sewer that didn't seem, it was the condition of the capacity of the existing sanitary sewer system is not currently available and may require further desktop field investigation to confirm. Since the population of the school is not expected to grow significantly, it is assumed the current sewer system capacity is sufficient for the proposed conditions, which I know we need to do a lot of work, but it was just one that, I don't know. It didn't seem the caveat much that I probably would have expected to be more kind of vague at this point in time. But
I guess does the Aero Street One team want to? Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
Yeah. We recently, thanks to Keith LeBoy and his team, got a lot more information about the septic system. For a while, it was a little bit of a mystery with the files that we had and the plans and that. So let's see, Keith was able to reach out to the vendor who actually operates the septic system, and they got in touch with Board of Health, and we pulled the plans that they have on file. So Civil has only recently received those. The main purpose of their report is really about existing conditions. So while you are correct that it would not be sufficient if we were, well, it is likely not sufficient if we were going to go to one of the larger enrollments. But obviously, as we study those different scenarios, they will be looking at what it would take to change that system. So I would focus more on the existing conditions portion of it. But you're right, the second part of that sentence is not technically accurate.
Not sure it needs to be changed. Just figured I wanted to put that on there.
They will be looking more carefully. Even the drawings that we have do talk about the location of it, but they'll need to look at it more carefully to make sure that they can understand the capacity and how it's actually functioning. So there will be more study before any determination is made of what needs to be done to it.
Roger, you had your hand up. Is there anything else?
You're on mute, Roger.
Where's my mute? Yeah, I really was just kind of confirming that when Katie talks about the second half of the sentence, and it's maybe the one you referenced, since the population is not anticipated to grow, but that really that's what you're speaking to, right? Because that's not necessarily going to be accurate if the population grows.
Correct.
The different number. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
their statement wasn't really taking into account that there are 3 different possible enrollments.
Right.
They really probably should have stuck to just describing the existing conditions and not making any forecasting, because we'll have to study that depending on which option we're pursuing.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah, I was going to suggest, why don't we get in touch with them and see if we can tweak that before it gets submitted tomorrow.
I don't know, Larry, if it's really, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff in here that we'd probably want to tweak for this in the same fashion, but I don't know if it necessarily has to be in there for that. But you guys would know better or not, whether or not that. It just seemed like one of those, like, basically like in that sentence that it looks like we're not increasing the size of the school, but we are looking at it as 2/3 of our options.
But
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
a chance.
I'm not sure we'll get in a hold of Green International, but we can see, and if we can just slip it in.
Yeah, I would suggest, unless any committee member has any strong reservations, that we proceed as written, unless the edit can be made, first thing, just to not delay the submission. Because I imagine, right, Larry, Katie, the MSBA is going to come back to us with questions on this, right? So this is going to be an iterative document, right? This, although we're going to call it final once we vote it, it's really not final because there's going to be questions on it, that after this.
Yeah, they have 21 days to review and they'll come back with lots of comments to be responded to.
Andrew, does that deal with all your questions?
I mean, I had a couple other ones on there, but yeah, we can cover that off when we start doing the further analysis.
Okay. Roger, any questions?
No, I'm good, actually. Thank you.
Denise?
I'm good, thank you.
Mark Davis?
I'm just fine.
All right. So I think I got our 5 voting members. Any ex officio members that have any comments? Okay. For simplicity, if Roger's okay with it, when I drafted the draft meeting minutes, I have him seconding any motion. Is that okay with you, Roger?
Yes,
So I will move that the Neary Building Committee accept the PDP as presented in this meeting. Is there a second?
second.
Skanska in Arrow Street, does that motion achieve what you need?
Could we just add and authorize Skanska to submit the preliminary design program to the MSBA?
I will withdraw my motion and edit it as suggested. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. Roll call vote. Roger,
Yes,
Denise,
Aye.
Andrew,
Aye.
Mark Davis,
Aye.
and I am an aye as well. So that's a 5-0 vote with 2 members absent. Okay. Is there any public comment? Is there any other business that the committee is going to want to discuss?
Just one thing I noted that, Jim, when you send this, you're gonna remove all the comments from the PowerPoint, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be,
Make
yeah,
sure that
it'll be a clean version.
Okay. Were there any questions? We'll move to the meeting minutes then. Were there any questions on last week's meeting minutes? Okay. Were there any comments or proposed changes other than inserting the votes and the members present for tonight's draft meeting minutes? All right, then I am going to move. Did someone say something?
I was gonna say, Jason, do you want me to put it on the screen or something, or do we need it? Are you just good with how that is?
The motion or
Oh, just the
The,
minutes. I wasn't sure if you wanted to see.
and then unless anyone wants to watch us put who voted for and against, I'm fine because I think everything else has gone at least as planned.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you though for that. All right, then I will move to approve the May 16th, 2024 meeting minutes in the May 20, 2024 meeting minutes as presented, subject to the votes being added for the May 2024 meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second it. I do have a question, however.
Okay, go ahead.
So, one of the agenda items for the meeting, on the written agenda anyway, the one that was posted, is the meeting schedule? Is that something we aren't really gonna talk about tonight? Because we already have talked about it?
Because yeah, I had posted that agenda before we talked about it last week, so
Okay,
that's why I didn't even bring it up. I should acknowledge that it was on the agenda, but unless someone wants to discuss it, we can keep going.
okay.
Good comment, though. Any further discussion on the meeting minutes? All right, we have a motion, a second. Let's do a roll call vote. Denise,
Aye.
Roger,
Aye,
Andrew,
Aye.
Mark Davis,
Aye.
and I am I as well. All right, I will make a motion to adjourn at 8:13 PM. Is there a second?
Jason, can I ask you one question, please? I have a question.
I don't think we should because else we have to come back to the meeting minutes. Is
Okay,
there a question on the items we just voted on?
no, just a future date, that's all.
All right, we can cover that via email, just so we don't
Okay.
have to, just because of
Okay.
the precision that's needed in the minutes. Sorry, Denise.
No problem.
All right,
I'll,
so
I'll second that motion now, Jason. You had it on the floor, but without a second.
yeah, thank you, Roger. Okay, let's do a roll call on that. Roger,
Aye.
Denise,
Aye.
Andrew,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and I am I as well. That concludes our meeting. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Good night.